Sustainability has been an important topic nowadays as it affects our daily life and also our future. There are many sustainable development goals such as quality education, no poverty, and so much more. Teen Animal Scientist is working towards a sustainable future. Today, it is our pleasure to invite Chinny from SustainaPod to our episode here to talk about how science has made things more sustainable and create a better future.
Thanks for having me. So, in this episode, we're going to touch upon some of the scientific applications of sustainability. It's also about GM crops and a little bit about the work that SustainaPod is doing to help spotlight conversations in sustainability.
So would you like to start off by talking about how GM crops have made a more sustainable future?
Yeah, I would. GM crops are essentially kind of organisms that have their DNA altered, which change their properties, which can both be chemical or physical properties. So essentially this gives them an added layer of resistance, which in turn allows them to have a higher crop yield. Well, this can help reduce the amount of land or resources that are used in farming and help to prevent the overconsumption of natural resources, which I think is definitely a driving factor in kind of creating a more sustainable future. I think in terms of food insecurity and providing nutritious and sufficient food supply to people who need it, GM organisms have also proved very useful in this. For example, with golden rice, which is a GM modified type of rice which contains more vitamin A, which helps to combat the shortage of vitamin A in parts of Asia and Africa, which without the vitamin A are actually causing dietary deficiencies and causing blindness in a lot of people. So in terms of the added nutritional benefits in golden rice, this is actually helping a lot of people prevent blindness.
I totally agree with you on your explanation on how GMO crops has changed the future.
For sure, and I think with kind of biotechnological developments nowadays, it's so much easier for us to be able to track the developments and improve the process in which we're genetically modifying different organisms that really allow them to kind of benefit our society in really, really cool ways. However, I would like to add that GMO organisms do come with some drawbacks or disadvantages, is the fact that they may contain unknown side effects. So I think because this is still a quite recent advancement in science, there are many side effects that are unknown. So I think a lot of research is still being put into this to find out more about the effects that it can have, positive and negative.
On one hand, science has helped to improve well-being and health in societies, but on the other, scientific discoveries such as new chemicals, energy sources, materials, or innovations have caused quite some harm to the health of the planet and its people.
So this point actually echoes to the proverb, every coin has two sides, and we believe that science inventions have both advantage. There are also some side effects or some downside of them, but after all, I realized that through science we have learned what we should do. Like we realized that the Earth is facing some problems such as climate change and the excess of greenhouse gases, and this makes us realize the urgency of solving these kinds of problems, and everyone hopes to make a better future and to see the next generations enjoy their lives. Regarding GMO crops, actually it helps deal with hunger to a certain extent. For example, research shows that the crops could have some desirable traits, like this is variable and can be controlled by all human beings, so it's really great. In the past, humans have used traditional ways to modify crops and animals to suit their needs and tastes, and now with GMO, crossbreeding, selective breeding, and mutation breeding are kind of some possible things. And also people can mix crops resistance to some insects, and also there will be less crop loss and longer storage life of crops, and also they will have a better appearance better nutrition, or even some combination of these traits.
I definitely agree that a lot of different breeding methods are helping to improve or develop the revolution of kind of oncoming GMO crops. And I think this is also a good idea to mention that in recent years, we've had so much of sustainability developments in regards to the science area, and I really like to bring the focus to carbon capture, which is essentially summarized in basic words, capturing carbon dioxide from the air and storing it deep underground. And I think this is such an excellent development. And I had the privilege of speaking to a development chemist from Climeworks, which is a company that's specializing in this technology. And she really explained a lot about this science and how it's helping to undo some of the damage that we've done to our Earth. And I think this is very much one of the technologies that we will all be seeing rapidly develop in the future.
As a matter of fact, science is really associated with our daily life, and it actually saves us from some tragedy. For example, during COVID, without science, we will not be able to invent vaccines. So it's not just about some environmental issues like climate change, but even some small fields of our life can be affected by science.
I definitely agree with that. I think so many different sectors now are influenced by the findings that we discover in science and sustainability, and I think the Sustainable Development Goals really help to accentuate these changes.
So science has also makes our life more convenient. For example, through scientific knowledge, it allows us to create some more advanced transportation and to create AI such as ChatGPT. But after all, the most important fact of seeing science sustainable is that we just have the motivation to learn science and to see how it can change our world. So actually, our thinking and imagination is also very important to creating a more sustainable future. So right at this moment, we should try to explore more, to delve into the world of science.
We touched upon a few applications of science within the world of sustainability and developing them further, such as GMO crops, as well as a little bit about carbon capture. We also then talked about the changes that are happening within the field of science and sustainability, such as the oncoming development of AI like ChatGPT, and how we would like to see youth advance this further. So this could be through youth advocacy or from experiences of being able to interview sustainability professionals, which is what we do here in SustainaPod. All in all, thank you for joining this episode.
I would also like to thank you, Chinny, for coming to our episode. So this comes to the end of this episode, and thank you for listening.